Okay, great. So what we are going to do, we are gonna just start with the like knowledge check. I want to try to come like bring like every session these knowledge checks. I think it helps to kind of like review a few things, and it will help us to kind of like check our progress. I think on the calendar there's like a in-class quiz for Monday. But like given our progress, I think that we're good and like we won't have in-class quiz on Monday. And I think we won't have any other in-class quizzes in the future. Yes.
Like checks that it's like no longer for Tuesday calendar. Like how can we know like what that is?
The knowledge checks. You should expect knowledge checks for every session. We would have them at home. So instead of that, I'll try to just have them in class instead of at home, but like you should expect them every session. And just like a review for every session. Because like if we were supposed to have them every session at home, but I thought it would be better if we just keep them in class. Okay. But yes, should expect them every session. Great. Okay. So do this and talk about them. Yep. Is everyone done? Yes. Okay. How was that? Okay. Let's see. Um, Again, so like before this, we would just like have the knowledge checks at home. I want to like just shift them in class. So you should expect like every like session one like knowledge check like this from this like just like moving forward. And again, don't worry about like the grade because like as you know, like I will add them to the like the in-class quizzes, but then again, drop the lowest grade. Um, so it shouldn't impact your grade, or it should definitely have a positive impact on your grade. And as well as like we take more knowledge checks, the number increases, it average down and it increases your grade. Is to make sure to kind of like like review like in a little bit like the things that we talk about and make sure that like we understand some concepts. So that's the point of the knowledge checks. Yes. Any question? Yeah.
Did you close it before? Because I don't think my time was up when it closed.
No. So it should be like 6 minutes. Okay. So let's check them. Okay. Okay. First one. So based on like if this is our code and like the balance is 3,000, the user inputs 3,000 and the amount is like 500. What is the output? So in the case of this, what do you think? Which one is the correct answer? Yes,
Oh, the last one.
the last one. Okay. Anyone else? Which one is the correct answer? A, B, anyone? C. Okay, D. No. Any solution? Okay, that's okay. So what do we see here? We see here like update like credit here after like getting the account balance. Like we see update account balance, like account balance. So after the payment, as well as like updating the available credit and then printing out. But here's the thing, the point is here is that these methods are defined as void. So they do not return the value, right? So yes, the available credit is being like passed, the information passed to the method is being updated here, but these are local variables, right? So it doesn't return the value. So it will not be updated in the other method. The idea of local variables, okay? Account balance is a local variable in this method, as well as here, account balance is a local variable in this method. The calculation happens, but the method is declared as void, meaning that it does the calculation and it will end, and it doesn't return the calculated value to this to the like variable it's called. So it doesn't change the value. So when it gets here, the account balance is still the same as was input. It didn't change throughout this. We see account balance never, there is no equal sign here that indicates that the account balance has changed. You only pass the information to the method. You haven't updated here. So the value is the same as well as the available credit. And available credit was set to 0. And it like this method again is defined as like a void. So it didn't change anything about this variable. So the value will be like the account balance will be still 3,000 and the value of like the available balance will be 0. Okay. Any question? Okay. You see the point? That's about like the local variables. Like every method, every variable only exists within that method, within the boundary of that method. So here, if we wanted to like update the like available credit, we should have updated the value of available credit, but there is no place here that we've changed the like the value of available balance. Okay. How about this version? Okay. What would be the result for this one? So let's see this. We have the account balance, 3,000. And then, okay, update available credit. This time, what is the difference for this one? It's declared as double, so it returns the value, and it returns the value of the calculation when it's called. Okay, so here, when we call the available, like update available credit, we pass the information, it calculates like the difference, and then returns it, and then you update the value of available credit. Okay, so now available credit is like 2,000. Okay, 2,000 points. And then you get the payment, and then again, update account balance. This time, great. Actually, it was fixed now. It is declared as double. It returns the calculated result. But what is the problem here? The problem here is that you didn't update account balance. You created a new field and set the value to that like variable. So you created a new variable balance, and the balance now is 2,500. But the account balance is still 3,000. Do you see my point? The account balance didn't change. Now the account balance, you pass the information and it returned the value, but you didn't change the account balance. You created a new variable and then set the value to that. So balance, the value of balance is 2,500, but the account balance is still 3,000. So which one would be the correct answer? The account balance is still 3,000, but the available credit, okay, the available credit turned to be like just 2,000, because again, you pass the account balance and credit line, so it's still 2,000. Okay, so you want to pay attention exactly like these, like in the case of account balance, here we should have updated the account balance. We shouldn't have created a new field. Every account has one balance. It cannot be like you can hold the amount, like balance amount in different variables and like keep changing them. The third version of this, okay, the third version would be that. Okay. Third version, what do we have here? Update, like, okay, both methods are declared as double. So they're correctly designed to calculate, like do the calculations and return the value. But what is the problem here? The problem here is this one, update available credit. It's a double, it returns a value, but you didn't like update the value here, right? It has it is going to return the value. So here you just call the method. It should have been available credit equal to update available credit. Okay. So even if you declare the method, like design the method correctly, you still need to pay attention how to call the method. If it's going to return a value, you need to store it somewhere. Like the second, like the update account balance is correctly written, right? Update account balance and payment, it does the calculation, returns it, and it exactly correctly, you change the update balance, like the account balance. You change the account balance. But then again, you didn't change the available credit. So when you print it, available credit will still be zero. Okay, will still be zero, but this time it will be 2,500. The new balance is 2,500 because you correctly updated it. And last one. Okay, how about last one? This is the correct version of implementation of this code. Okay, so you see available credit, okay, account balance. Available credit equals, first of all, two methods are created to return the calculated result, outcome. So they have a return type double, okay? They get the inputs and then calculate them and return them. And you correctly update available credit, so you are updating the available credit. Get the payment, update account balance. So pass the account balance and payment, it returns the new value and you store it again in the same variable, account balance. The same way here, available credit, after the change in the balance, the available credit has to change again. Okay, now again, update available credit. So that like will update it as well. So in that case, correctly, this version says, okay, account balance is 2,500 and available balance is 2,500. So this was one of the like questions like from the midterm exam, but like the method design version using the methods. And you want to pay attention to the like practice this, review this knowledge check. I created this because these are the very common mistakes that like I see in the programs when you design like this type of like programs. And if you check every one of these versions and you see what is the like what was the problem with the code, then you can like pay attention to that when you're coding. Okay. Any question? Any question? No? Okay. If not, now we can go back to like again continuing like that practice that we were working on. We are in option 3 and option 4 has left. We are working on option 3 and option 4. So what was option 3? Okay. Option 3 is prompt the user to enter the total sale amount and then calculate like a profit and then display profit. As I said before, okay, this is like each option is a completely like separate task, right? So you want to think about this for each task, you want to think about if you have an input, if you have a process, if you have an output, and you want to separate them. And then for each section, then you think about like whether you like you are going to use methods to implement them. And do not mix or like put together any of these like input, process, and output. Okay. So first input. So it says prompt the user to enter the like sales amount. Okay. So I added like the variable here, and I say, okay, sales equal to oh, why did I like sorry, this was a mistake. This should have been declared as double cells. Okay. So cells is double. Convert that to double. Okay. Okay. So again, just pay attention that like I by adding this comment, like separate them, and before you like move on to the next part, you can like you this way you won't like mix different things. Okay. So first complete the input part. Okay, I got the sales amount. Now I will move on to the process, which is calculating profit. Okay, that's it. Calculate profit. Now my job is to calculate profit. Okay, can I use methods for that? Yes, I can do this part just to calculate profit. I'm not thinking about producing the output or anything, right? I'm in the process part. What is the calculation here? So if we didn't like, we weren't like using methods, the calculation would look like this. Okay, I'm gonna add one here for profit. Okay, and then I say profit equals, okay, the I added them before the profit because I wanted to declare them here, and as a rule, I said I'm not going to declare a variable inside an if. So it would be just profit would be like was it the budget? Okay, profit would be sales minus budget. Okay. It's our like process, right? Here, the calculation is simple and that's it. And then you move on to output and check like the result of profit, right? Okay. Then I will move on to the next part. So this is my process, okay? If I'm going to like implement this with the method, that's the only part will be moved into a method. And which part is going to be moved into the method? Anything like on the right side of the calculation. Because profit is just like a variable here to like store the calculation. So we are just moving the calculation to the method. So I would say, okay, I'm going to like create a method here. Okay, I will call it static double and calculate profit. Okay. For the method to calculate the profit, where is this? Okay. So I want to like do this calculation, okay? Sales minus budget, and then return like do the calculation inside the method. So I want to have this, okay? Sales like budget minus sales or sales minus budget. So I'm going to pass this information because I already collected the inputs. Sales, I collected them. I already had the like the budget. I need to pass the information. I'm not going to recollect it again. I just need to like pass to the method. So that means these are going to be our like parameters here. So the parameters is going to be profit, sales and budget. And that's how we can calculate sales minus budget. And just return profit. Okay. I didn't get the cells in this method. Okay. I didn't get the cells in this method. First, that's part of the input process. First, I collected the input and then pass to the method. That's why unlike like the cells is like a parameter. So first I got the cells here. And now where I was doing the calculation and I storing it at profit, instead of that, I will call the method. I remove the calculation from here and use the method that will calculate the profit. And now I can like pass the information because I already collected it, sales and budget. Okay. So this is our like the process is done. Now I can think about I can move on to the next part, like checking out the output, which was if the profit is zero or less. So the value of profit should be checked here, not inside the method. Okay, not inside the method. The method only to calculate, return the value. If we declare this method as void, and if we calculated the like profit here and we didn't return the value, then we wouldn't know here what is the profit. The same as like what we had in the test was declaring the method as like calculate as a double, like declaring as with the return type, it will return like a value, and then you store it in the variable that we've created for that. Because like method variables are local. So profit here is local. We need to initialize it. We need to set the value. Yes, we have a variable here, profit, but this is only exist within that method. Once you calculate it, if you don't return it, that value like gets destroyed after the method like is like ends. Okay, now the output. Okay, Now I can check if the profit like greater than zero. Okay. Just one more thing again as a review. If the statement for an if is only one line of a statement, you don't have to add the braces. But if it is more than like one, you have to add them. Just in case I want to add them here, okay? Else. You have if and else. If the profit is greater than zero, okay, you want to have like a message showing that. Let me see if we have the message. Okay. Okay, we'll just say output is going to be the profit amount. And after that, print out the okay. Can I do this part in a method? Yes, you can move to the method, pass the profit, and say, okay, based on the amount of profit, return the method. Okay. So how do we do that? If I wanted to like perform this in a method, I would have, okay, I would have a method for which will prepare the string. It will give me the string for like display profit. Okay, so I want to like basically check the perform amount and also like prepare the output message in a method. Um, just exactly performing this check, right? Just this part, not the calculation part. This is the output part. So we are done with the process, then we move on check for what is going to be like the output. So I will do this part, okay? I will do this part in the method, inside the method, meaning that like this check will happen. This check, if the profit is greater than zero, this is the output, otherwise this will happen, like this will be checked and created inside the method. If it is going to happen, first, I need to declare, okay, I need to declare like what is the output here, okay? And then I will need the profit to check like what is the value, like whether the like which method should be like returned. So the value of profit should be passed to the method so it can check the profit. Okay. And then it will give us like the correct output message. So this way, you see, we like for one of the tasks, we created two methods, one for the process part, one for the output part. Okay, we separated them. Like this one only responsible for checking what is going to be the message, and the other one just for calculation, no inputs. Input is collected before moving on to process. So input, process, and output. And now that I have this part in a method, so I don't need this. Instead of that, I will replace because I want to know what is the output, right? What is the output is like the display. I will just call the method and pass like the value of profit, and it will return what is the output. I'm done. I can like remove this like comments, and you will see that it looks exactly like as we expected. Okay, input and our process, and this is our output. So you see the order, I get the cells in the next line, like cells and budget, which was already another input collected, are passed to the like to this method. It calculates them, it returns them, and again, next line like creates the like a display, like the message output, and then returns it, and then we show it. And you see, like you can track it in the main method. You can track this. If you can track it in like this way, then that means like maybe you put like multiple tasks in one method. Okay, you should be able to like track this like for every line of code here to see that like if you correctly implemented that task. Okay, any question? Should we move on to the next task? Okay. So next one. Add to the movie actors. Prompt the user to enter a new account, new actor name, and then update the movie actors. Okay. So in this case, okay, the first one is simple. So prompt the user to enter a new actor name. Okay. So try do this and then can talk. There are multiple ways to implement this part. You can like try different things, and I'll show you one of the versions. So console, right line. Okay. I want to store it in a variable, so I already have like a name here. Okay, I'll just do name goes to, so I'm getting the name, and I'm going to like update the movie actors, but like the name, the list of the actors. So where do I have them? I have the list of actors in an actors. It's on a string. How do you update like a string with like adding to that a string, not just changing the string? Okay, there are two things. So if you say, I will just say actors. Okay, let me just type this just after the comment. Okay, if you say actors equals to name, okay, what is the problem here? You're exactly replacing that. You're updating it, but you're replacing the list. But we are not doing that, right? We want to add that to the list of the actors. How do you add two strings? Concatenate two strings, okay? How do you concatenate two strings? like we already have the actors, and then we say plus because it was like it said they're separated with comma, right? Okay, they're separated with comma. So comma and then plus, and that's it. Okay. It's an string. We are not trying to like replace the prior string. We are trying to add to that string. Adding to that string is like just concatenating that. And because they're separated, the names are separated by comma. So we want to have the actors, like the list, like what is the string, plus a comma, and then add the name further. Okay, that makes sense? Just adding two strings together is just concatenating them. Since we're just trying to like do every method, we could like also again do this like because it's kind of an activity like this. We could do it with a method. Let's see how it would look like if we wanted to create it a method. We would just say okay, static string. Okay, it says string is going to add new actor. Okay. Want to create the method that like will add new actors to the list of actors. How can it like, so what do we need? We need the list of actors and we also need the new actor and like for to be able to add that. So we need the actors and also we need the name, okay, new, okay, I will just name it new actor. And what it does, it says actors equals to actors plus comma plus the actor. Okay. And then just return actors. We didn't even need to create a new field here. For adding a new actor, you need the list like the actors, also the name of the new actor, and then just concatenate the two tasks, like two strings with like the comma, because they're separated by comma, and then return the value. Again, if you were like, let's say, change the like update the like the director name. You see the difference here? Here we changed the director name, so we replaced it. But we weren't just like replacing like the actor name, we were adding to the list of actors. So the difference is that we're not replacing what was the prior like information, we're adding to the information. That's why we are concatenating. So now, like instead of like doing like this, because we created the method, again, on the right side of the equal is changing. On the right side of the equal is removed from here. And instead of that, okay, on the right side of the equal is like changed, like in this case, because actor is like a local variable. And what do we have? We have a method that adds new actors. And for that, we need to pass two information, the actors as well as then like the name, which is the new actor name. And then it returns the updated like actors list. A mistake, a mistake here would be that I would declare this as void, what would happen? You would pass the information, you would update the actors list, it would never return the value. And then also like here, you see it shows you an error. Basically, you would have to like call this. This is a correctly calling a method. It will update the name of the actors list, but only like in that method, and it never returns the value. So like the value of actors like in this method is being updated. So it's not going to update it. So this would be a mistake because like this actors is a local variable here, and we need to update it. So we cannot like declare this method as void. It needs to return us the updated value. And then here also like it doesn't show you any error if you declare it and you don't do it. But this is like a kind of a runtime. Like it's not an error. It just like doesn't do the work that it is supposed to do. It's not, you're calling the method, you're passing the information, it does add to the list of actors, it returns it, but you never save it anywhere. You have to save the return value. Where do you save it? I will save it in the actors. And the last part, okay, is just checking if they wish to continue. So in this case, console, just write line. They're just like collecting the user's answer if they want to like continue. Okay, so this is just getting a yes and no, and if answer is equal to no, what should we do? We should just break out of this loop. Okay. Again, since we already added the comments, we wouldn't be able, like, we wouldn't make that mistake to where to put this like part of the code. Here we need to just add, and that's the end of the loop, right? We already separated the code. This is why adding comments helps a lot. Now I know this is the end of the loop, okay? This is the end of the loop, okay? And then we are checking like if the user wishes to continue, and now then we can close it. Okay, we completed this project. Since we still have time, let me first add this like the messages here, and then we will run it and like so I'm gonna just copy this code to add for each of them. So for this one, enter title. It is Intel Richter. Okay, this was left from like from prior session. I only added the messages that we are going to like prompt the user to provide for us. Okay, so let's try it, see how it works. Okay, okay. So title, I'm gonna use this exception character column like interactive. So this time I will just like add these like these actors, okay? Release year 2010. Enter budget. Okay, so let's see if it works, right? So first, if I add one, okay, so it correctly like the title, the director, the actors, release year, budget. Do I wish to continue? Yes. Again, display them like moving like this. This time, let's try to do like the okay, 3 and 4. First three, calculate profit. Okay, sales amount. Let's say the sales amount is okay, the profit amount. So calculate it correctly, I guess. Again, yes. Okay, so we can still see like the prompts. This time you want to add a new name to the list of the actors. Okay. So now I will add the rest of the like the actors. Okay. I'll just add two of them. Yes. Okay. This time if we check, let's see if we check like one, if the movie information is updated. Okay. The movie information is updated now. We have the actors list. Okay. Great. Okay. Yes. Um, okay, now we can like kind of like review like the complete view of this where we started and where we are ending. And now we can see like the methods we created. Okay. Menu list, display movie information, calculate profit, display profit, add new actor. Okay. You can see that actually like every task kind of got one method, at least one method. Like if it was a calculation, we had a calculation as well as preparing the output. If it was only like a task, we created a task for it, add new actor. If it was only an output, we created like the formatted output, like the same way here, menu list. Okay. So using methods helps a lot to like change the way that we program. I hope this practice helps to kind of like review like and also improve our understanding of the methods. Great. Any question? Okay. So this is it for today. On Monday, we are going to start next unit and we are going to talk about the lists, hopefully. See you on Monday. I will also like